players, but no great players? Or would you rather have a great starting five without much of a supporting cast? And the writers at the time said, is it North Carolina you have in mind? And he admitted that he did. And the writers debated that question. Well, we'll see the answer to that question today.
I might mess up either one if I had the choice, but right here the press continues. You mentioned Williams didn't play much at all during the tournament, and that time showed a little bit. He's got to get settled down.
Underneath the foul. As Riddick is involved in the action and will go to the line. Fouls on Calabria, his second. They're tending to Donald Williams, and let's get a report from Bob Lobel.
All right, Sean McDonough, thank you very much. They have taken the shoe off of his left ankle.
They're going to tape it up and secure it.
Okay, they are going to tape up his left ankle and secure it. He had tendonitis problem in his left knee, but this is a totally different situation. They're going to retape his left ankle and see how it is for the first half, and then get a better reading at halftime. Sean?
Thank you. And tell Dave Losey, whose voice we heard, the Assistant Sports Information Director of North Carolina, he gets no talent fee from CBS today for his brief contribution.
They've been great to us, though, feeding us that info.
They sure have. Zwicker off the feed from Stackhouse.
That's his game. Keeps the ball up high, knows how to turn and complete the set. But Stackhouse showing another dimension to his game. Feed the post.
And Zwicker, a role player all season long, has been much more than that here in the NCAA tournament. In the first round, with Wallace really hobbled by the ankle problem, Zwicker responded with 19 points, a career high, lead them to the win over Murray State.
1-3-1, Sean. A lot of wrinkles by Guido.
Cricket, short with it. Calabria the rebound.
He comes down, Gimpy too. Oh.
And as you can see, his right ankle is already taped. He's one of the few players who does not wear high-top sneakers, prefers the low cuts. He limps off in a timeout with 3:41 remaining in the first half.
This is the inspiration behind Goodyear's new 50,000-mile Wrangler AquaTread. 2 aqua channels sweep water away for outstanding wet traction. Welcome to the AquaTread family. New Wrangler AquaTread, only from Goodyear.
The American business day has no beginning, middle, or end. You're up by 6 a.m. to talk to London by noon. Late Tuesday in Vermont is early Wednesday in Sydney. No wonder UPS created Total Track. Up-to-the-minute delivery information 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You may never know where you'll be at any given moment.
Where am I? At an airport.
But you'll always be able to track your package. UPS, moving at the speed of business.
Like all Americans, I like big things. Big prairies. Big forests and mountains. Big wheat fields. And everything else.
Cellular One is so remarkably clear that we're actually recording this commercial on it. Cellular One, the nation's #1 cellular service, clear across America.
Red Dog here. Look at him. Making fools of themselves. And for what? A pat on the head and a dog biscuit?
What do you think of that?
You got a mind of your own.
Oh.
Know what I'm saying? Do what's right for you. Hey, buddy, nothing personal.
Red Dog beer. Bold yet smooth. Easy to drink.
But I don't jump through hoops for nobody.
Well, Sean, the concern was over Dante Calabria and the knee, or excuse me, the ankle, but it's basically the knee. Prickett, who shoots, comes hustling in, and you'll just see the little contact at the end. May have hyper-extended it just a little bit. You're upset at the beach shoes he wears. He looks good on the Jersey Shore.
Oh, he's making a fashion statement. Doesn't upset me. I just think it's interesting in this day and age of high-top shoes.
You're killing the shoe business while you're working. Good use of the floor.
Landry. They had a chance for the lead to the Tar Heels, but Landry's shot would not go. Harrison, a three-point shooter. Along with it. Rebound, Shammond Williams, and then he was fouled by Chris Harrison. That's the first on Harrison, and the double bonus in effect as Kentucky is over 10 team fouls.
You know, talking to guys in Rick's younger days, they might have said, well, annoying, pushy, but if he was in your family, you'd say he's aggressive, and that's the way he likes his team to play, Sean.
Both teams have been aggressive, 20 fouls, including the exchange between Wallace and Riddick, and McCarty was unjustly nailed with the technical that should have gone to Riddick. That set the tone for this one, and after an early Kentucky burst that got them up by 8, it's been closely played since. Tied at the moment. Williams with another free throw, and Carolina has a 1-point lead, and they played the last 6 minutes without Rasheed Wallace on the bench with 3 fouls, and after the ankle was taped, Donald Williams is back in.
2-3 zone. We switched that, John. 1-3-1. Stackhouse running the baseline. And they'll camouflage as you shape your offense.
Riddick tried to score over Landry. Landry held his ground, and the shot wouldn't go for Riddick. When Wallace went to the bench, Carolina trailed by 1. They now lead by 1 with the ball. Stackhouse fouled.
Now, years ago, you would not see any of that isolation. The adjustments that Dean Smith makes to his talent is extraordinary. Remember the 4-corner. The embracing of the three-point play. Well, here's isolation for Stackhouse to take advantage of his obvious ability to go to the goal. Hang a little and take that hit.
Stackhouse with 10 points, 6 of them from the free throw line. He's 6 out of 8 from the strike.
A lot of talk about those two guys going out, but I'll tell you one thing from my history and background. Dean Smith will do the same thing with that he did with Michael Jordan and James Worthy. Look into the situation from a financial standpoint, make sure it's best for the kids where they would be picked in the draft before he would even consider. He would never hurt a kid. What's good for him, he'll let them go.
Rhodes way off. Now for the loose ball. Kentucky will play it in. They rule it out off Stackhouse as he was going after with Harrison. Well, imagine where this Carolina team would be next year if both Wallace and Stackhouse elect to leave school. Williams is graduating. Sullivan is graduating. At the half, upcoming, Pat and Clark and George, joined by Rick Majerus, the Utah coach. They'll have a recap of the game earlier today between UCLA and Connecticut. And plenty of lively discussion in the studio. It's Penzo at the half in 2 minutes and 38 seconds.
And Mr. Personality, Rick Majerus, to lighten up the city of New York. Hold on to those pizza parlors. Rick's is down.
Kentucky has missed its last 5. Make it 6. Belt errant from three-point land. Out of bounds. Kentucky ball.
Good coordination with the officials.
Kentucky 3 minutes without a field goal.
The zone has been a factor.
Rhodes drills the foul line jumper. He has 7, and it's North Carolina by 1. 2:10 left in the half.
Rhodes made that in good position. Playing within himself is key for Rod.
It seems the key for North Carolina, will it be able to sustain this pace with all the bumps and bruises? With the team that's not very deep, will they be able to play this way all the way to the end? Stackhouse, stripped by Rhodes.
That's a little contest within the contest, by the way. The player of the year by Sportsman. Tough shot.
Rhodes missed a 3. Williams into the 4th, minute 35 left in the half.
You can't get rid of that individual matchup, Rod.
McGinnis down the lane.
Exploding by the defense.
Rhodes working on Landry.
Rick Pitino shaking his head on the sideline. Composure.
Rhodes taking it upon himself the last 2 trips. Has forced up a couple.
And he can't give him the hook with the foul problems.
Antoine Walker on the bench for Kentucky with 4. clock. 50 remaining in the half.
Let him go one-on-one.
Williams is working on Deltridge. Blocked it. Out of bounds. The shot clock has expired. And the officials are going to confer.
I think they may give him one. Let's see if they concur with the timer. Shot clock, the horn go? The horn what? The horn. See if the shot clock expires before the ball actually. Let's see. You gotta get some time. Got some time. Gotta hit the floor. Gotta give him the violation.
They called it a shot clock violation. 40.9 seconds remaining in the first half.
I think they need a crate of oranges for the officials and plenty of beverages. Tough first 20.
Tim Higgins found himself in some situations in this tournament. He was the official involved in the Syracuse-Arkansas game with the timeout called by Lawrence Moulton. And he's the lead official today who tried to sort out that mess 4 minutes into the game.
Should have been a walk.
Yep. And Carolina, with a 3-point lead, can take the final shot of the half.
Turning the corner at the end. Drive, draw, and kick.
McGinnis. Saville. And time for a last shot from Kentucky. They hit a three-pointer at the halftime buzzer Thursday night against Arizona State that turned momentum back in the Wildcats' favor as ASU had climbed within 5. Rhodes made it 8 at halftime, and that was it for that game.
And Sean, now you've got Epps on the floor. You got Edwards. You got all perimeter shooters. Harris and Prickett will inbound, so they got plenty of opportunities to hit somebody or speed dribble.
Epps. A little bit short. A wild first half. The score, North Carolina 34, Kentucky 31. Pat O'Brien, Clark Kellogg and company, along with Pennzoil at the half. After this message and a word from your local station.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of this NCAA Basketball Championship Regional Final game is sponsored by Red Dog Beer, bold yet smooth, unusually easy to drink. UPS, moving at the speed of business. And by Goodyear, #1 in tires.
To perfect the all-new 1995 Monte Carlo, we spent countless hours adjusting the audio controls. You see, Monte Carlo was designed from the inside out to be your own personal space, so every interior detail had to be in harmony. Paying attention to something as small as the texture of a control is what makes Monte Carlo seem more like, say, a $40,000 car than one that costs half that much. Which also makes the new Monte Carlo a genuine Chevrolet.
Is Frank falling for Rita?
Come on, Frank, an idiot can see that you're jealous. It's obvious to me. Yep.
Spend tonight at the office on CBS.
This is CBS.
Here it is. Signed, sealed, delivered.
It's yours. The Mazda 25th anniversary celebration is one quick chance to get a great lease on a Mazda 626. It's got front-wheel drive, dual airbags, and the best basic warranty in its class. All this, plus air conditioning for just $199 a month. Hurry in.
Signed, sealed, delivered. It's yours.
Lease a Mazda 626DX for just $199 a month now.
More flights every day than any other.
Can you guess which minivan combines standard dual airbags, four-wheel anti-lock brakes, a front-end crush zone, and 5-mile-per-hour bumpers with a powerful V6, the lowest step-in height, the most room in its class, and the smoothest, most car-like ride? Did you guess? The Ford Windstar.
Choose 1,000 cash back or lease for $225 a month with $2,175 down.
Safety, comfort, roominess. I guess people are buying the Windstar because it's such a great value. See your Ford dealer and see for yourself.
CBS Sports presents Pennzoil at the Half, sponsored by Pennzoil, an official NCAA corporate partner.
And hi again, everybody. I'm Pat O'Brien along with Clark Kellogg. Welcome to Pennzoil at the Half. Our score after 20 minutes of regional final action in Birmingham. North Carolina leads Kentucky 34-31 at a Carolina pace, I might add.
Yeah, I think so. After the incident, there was a fighting incident early. I think that took some of the spice out of Kentucky, and right now North Carolina able to maintain the lead by virtue of free throw shooting.
We'll dissect that fight in just a moment. Earlier today, UCLA became the first team ticketed for the Final Four. The top-seeded Bruins were all over number 2 UConn out in Oakland. UConn hoping to go to the Final Four, and Ray Allen got him off to a good start. He had 36 points today.
Watch out, folks. To the rack he comes. Mark it up.
As long as they're yelling, how about deja vu? Tyus Edney brings the ball down after a quick timeout, puts up a 3, and it goes in right before the half. But how about these freshmen, Jack Nicholson?
Initial public offerings. Bailey and Henderson rising to the occasion. That's Toby Bailey. He had 26 today.
And for UCLA fans, this is the picture they wanted to see with all the heat they've taken in Southern California. And now they go home with the Nets, the first Nets of this tournament, as we head towards Seattle. And so here's how the men's bracket looks with UCLA headed for Seattle and a showdown 1 week from now with either Oklahoma State or UMass, who play tomorrow in East Rutherford. That tip time, by the way, Clark, is at 2:40. At 5 Eastern, Virginia and number 2 Arkansas will meet in the Midwest Regional Final. Now, there is a potential problem for UMass, beginning with guard Edgar Padilla. He is questionable. He suffered a sprained left ankle Friday night in the regional semifinal victory over Tulsa. This is today, him on crutches, and that doesn't look good for UMass.
It really doesn't. He's one of their key guys defensively in the backcourt, but UMass has played with such great intensity. Even if he can't go, I think they'll be able to hold on.
All right, our coverage tomorrow begins at 1:30 Eastern with the Van Naismith Award Show, followed at 2 by the road to the Final Four. Well, all was not lost for Connecticut fans. The unbeaten Lady Huskies are Final Four bound after surviving a scare at home from Virginia. And there are 3 other women's regional finals getting set to tip tonight on the women's road to Minneapolis. And finally, our congratulations to Southern Indiana. The Screaming Eagles are the new NCAA Division II champions. They defeated UC Riverside. They were down 22 points. They came back to win 71-63 for the crown. Congratulations. And we'll be back with more as At the Half rolls on from Birmingham to the Big Apple. We'll take a look at that fight here on CBS. Stay with us.
I've noticed my father using Pennzoil. It's a good product, and I've been using it for about, I'd say, 16, 17 years.
Now with the revolutionary Pennstar molecule, Pennzoil clings to moving parts, works like liquid ball bearings.
Pennzoil says it works like liquid ball bearings, and if they say it, I'll believe it.
Pennzoil, proud official NCAA corporate partner.
The problem is, the more income your investments earn, the more taxes are taken out. Which is why you should consider a tax-free investment from John Nuveen and Company. Because with Nuveen, the more you earn, the more you keep. Ask your investment advisor today about making Nuveen part of your tax planning strategy, or call this number.
9 to 5. Nobody keeps those hours anymore. Breakfast is now the most important meal of the business day. But sometimes you need more than coffee to start your day. You need an important package. Introducing UPS Early AM Delivery. Not just by 10:30, but by 8:30 a.m. guaranteed. The business day may seem endless, but at least now you know when it can begin. UPS, moving at the speed of business.
We are still here. Welcome back to New York and Pennzoil at the Half. The coaches have joined Clark and I, and we have Rick Majerus and George Raveling. We're going to talk about that skirmish earlier in this ball game where Wallace and Riddick got into it. And you pointed something out about the elbow.
Yeah, it looked to me like it was intentional because typically if you just have the ball and you turn your body, you can inadvertently hit a player. But Rasheed's body didn't turn. It was just the chicken wing. Now take a look. You guys can be the judge, you fans watching. but I thought clearly it was intentional. I think the officials handled it pretty good, though.
All right, Rick Majerus, your take on it.
It appeared to be intentional, but you don't know what was in the kid's heart. I think the referees took the safe way out of this thing, and I thought with the degree of the game, relative to the severity of that hit, they probably did the right thing.
Pat, what I find amazing about this, in the quietness of evaluation, the officials go to the table, watch the CBS replay of this, and still misidentify who the personal foul was on for Kentucky. They put the foul on number 40, and it should have been on number 10.
Right. You got the O right.
Yes.
You got the O right. You were looking at the way North Carolina attacks the Kentucky press and have something to show us.
Yeah, they're conducting a clinic on how to break the press and what to do against the press. First and foremost, you've got to be aggressive and look up court. You've got to look to score. Here they've got the ball, and now all of a sudden they set the trap in a 2-2-1. He back dribbles, creates a passing lane, baits the trap. Here he looks up court. Now watch this next pass up ahead. Now they've got the numbers. They fill the lanes. They've got a 3-on-2 right here, and they look to attack aggressively and finish it off. This here has been the demise of Kentucky's press. They've scored against it and tried to attack.
Stackhouse now 9 of 11 from the free throw line. North Carolina by 5, 9 minutes remaining.
Here's that little circle play with the double screen, gives Delk an opportunity.
McCarty for Riddick. Landry got a hand on the ball. Walker. Controlled by Calabria, 8:40 remaining. On the shot clock, 8:20 left in the game. North Carolina by 5. Stackhouse short of it. McCarty pulls up. He's on the floor with Riddick, Walker, Delk, and Epps. Epps the point guard.
It looks like Stackhouse can do more damage on the wing, Sean.
Riddick over Zwicker.
Too easy. Nice shape up and then the dump down.
3-point game, 8 minutes to go. Rick Pitino said yesterday if we can keep it close with 7 or 8 minutes to go, we hope that our pressure and our depth will result in wearing North Carolina down.
Well, he ought to get up and play him. He could have got a 5 count. Tough match for Walker if they wanted to work on him. He's got 4, Stackhouse on him.
5 on the shot clock, and McGinnis in trouble. McGinnis has to place one, and he scored!
What the dribble can do. A little ecstasy in that bounce.
TV timeout at the next whistle. North Carolina leads by 5, 56-51. 7:05 remaining. Delk missed a 3. Scramble. Bodies fly. Officials confer. Kentucky will inbound. Remaining. North Carolina has a 5-point lead.
A tradition unlike any other, the Masters on CBS Sports.
Hey, a new Pontiac Sunfire. Now, if you ever take your zooming across Easter Island, they probably won't give you one of those big head things. But hey, the rear seats fold down, just in case. Or if you ever take your new Pontiac Sunfire to China, they probably won't let you go tearing around on that big wall they got, which is too bad, because the sport suspension would be great on those curves. Finally, a real set of wheels for around $12.5, the all-new Pontiac Sunfire.
Levi's jeans until we say they are.
do you got? So come on, baby, squeeze me tight. Well, don't you want your baby to be alright? Policeman say, oh, you really do care. Come on, give me that love. All I need is that love. You got another thing.
Cellular One offers remarkably clear service.
Father couldn't be here, so he's listening over the phone.
In fact, clarity could be why more people choose Cellular One.
She sounds great, honey.
Cellular One, the nation's #1 cellular service.
Everyone's rushing to buy the biggest video of all time.
Run, Pooh-Bah, move it.
It's the movie everyone's talking about. It's to die for. And it's the one video everyone wants.
Tastes like chicken.
Buy America's favorite video, The Lion King.
You are watching the NCAA Basketball Championship on CBS.
The basketball action starts tomorrow, 1:30 Eastern Time with the Van Naismith Award Show. Then it's the Road to the Final Four program, followed by the East Regional Final, Oklahoma State and UMass. Then the Midwest Regional Final, Virginia taking on the defending national champion Arkansas. Great day for basketball again tomorrow on CBS Sports.
That's your little 2-3 look. They didn't trap on the inbounds. The gap in the middle and drive and maybe hit somebody or take it yourself, as Epps does.
Since Wallace went to the bench with 4 fouls, with 10:06 remaining, each team has scored 5 points. From the corner, Delp, short with it. Getting down to 6.5 minutes remaining. North Carolina by 5. Here's Landry. Left it for Shammond Williams. This is Donald Williams.
And he's the offensive guy on the floor right now. They got to concentrate on him.
Guinness, Wallace, and Stackhouse are all on the bench. Donald Williams has it back. And hits the runner.
He's the player out there. You got to spot up on him. Pretty good reaction on that long rebound. Usually there's Kentucky basketball.
With 6 minutes remaining, North Carolina by 7. Delk. That's a 3. Landry, and it poked away by Rhodes, but it went to Donald Williams. Rhodes got a hand on that one as well. McCarty for 3. Rebound, Riddick. And he's on the end line.
Sean, what an interception at half court and deflection. Typical Ricky Pitino. Oh, the piece of the ball he knows is guys are in the back to start it the other way, and Riddick with the all-out effort to try and rebound, and the other one landed out of bounds.
Dean Smith sends Rasheed Wallace back in with 5.5 minutes remaining. He's playing with 4 fouls. Stackhouse and Calabria also back in the game. Starting 5 on the floor for the Tar Heels. They lead by 4, 5:20 remaining. Stackhouse. And Wallace got the bounce.
Dean Smith has done a heck of a job with his team, rotating bodies in, getting into the right spot, isolating, using the bounce.
Rhodes missed a 3. Rebound, Stackhouse. Rebounds in the game for Jerry Stackhouse. We go at 16 points, a double-double.
Big trips for Pope, so he steps up. Rasheed has his own creed. Send it in, big fella.
Peter's got me on this mission to find Marcus Spellfree, so I'm learning everything I can about him. Father from Azerbaijan, mother from Colorado, raised in Switzerland. I spent my childhood in Switzerland. So, I'm gonna find him, talk to him, and convince him that Gramercy is the right house for him.
Not a Harry with a modem.
They created a personal computer, and the world has been moving at a different speed ever since. They put them into classrooms and created the first generation of computer-literate children. Then they gave computer users the freedom to work anywhere. And now they're ready to take us into the future with the most powerful personal computer Apple has ever made. Where do you find companies that refuse to stop at success? Actually, there's a list of them printed every day. NASDAQ, the stock market for the next 100 years.
Look inside today's PCs. You'll find something pretty amazing. The Intel Pentium processor. It gives PC software more life, more action, more energy. So if you want your PC software to really move, make sure your PC has the Intel Pentium processor.
So who's your favorite composer? No kidding. Mine too. What about your favorite artist? What a coincidence. And cars? Oh, and we were getting along so well. Because the Oldsmobile LSS gives you the nimble performance you like in imports, but the room and luxury you know you really want. How do you think I paid for all those Tintorettos? It's your money.
After the Oscars with Dave on Monday night, join me for the first network roundup of this year's Academy Awards. We'll talk with the winners, plus some very special guests, Monday on The Late Late Show.
Sean McDonough, Stackhouse, has done so many good things with the dribble. Here's his penetration, the ability to find people, the step up by Pope, and the strong send it in with authority by Rasheed.
4:17 remaining. North Carolina has an 8-point lead. Kentucky down to one timeout left. Shepard strong to the bucket for the layup.
This is where they need some action. And poised for Carolina. Too many people down this end, it looks like, for Carolina.
4 minutes to go. North Carolina by 6. Kentucky for the game, shooting 28% from the field, by far their worst performance of the season. Stackhouse took a 3 with 18 on the shot clock, and it wouldn't go. Here comes Kentucky down 6.
And not good judgment by one of your premier players.
Delt. Out! Riddick. It slipped out of his hand. Delt. Stackhouse rips it away, and a foul called on Delt.
Well, they ain't getting after it. You notice Rasheed backed off all the block attempts. Did not want to get number 5. And right here, Delt just does not get full control of the shot. Riddick lets it flip out, not a good finish. And right here, you just see Rasheed. He does not want to get number 5. Good patience and poise by the big fella.
Down to 3.5 minutes remaining. Foul on Delt was his first, the 5th on the team. North Carolina's been called for 4, so neither team in the bonus. On the shot clock. 3:10 remaining second half.
Got to be careful in the middle. Tough match right here for Jared Prickett with the dribble.
Williams, the leaner. Good!
Step through.
North Carolina by 8. 2:51 remaining.
What a good understanding of the game. He's so good with the dribble on that floater.
Kentucky has hit 2 of its last 10 shots from the floor. Riddick backs in Wallace and scores.
They may have found something. He's not playing aggressively.
Calabria over half court. 2:23 left in the game. Regulation time.
They have to keep running their stuff, though, Sean. At least get to 15 before you do something, but don't wait late. Puts too much stress on the ball handler. Right about now.
Here come the double Williams. Shepard and Delt. He drove by them. Missed the runner. Batted out of bounds. Kentucky ball.
Number 40, Walter McCarty. For number 32, Jared Prickett.
UCLA has already earned the trip to the Final Four in Seattle. The Connecticut women will head to the Final Four, and Southern Indiana, the Division II men's national champion. 2 minutes left in this one.
Well defended, a little flare for Delp.
Shepard in traffic. He and Calabria hit the deck. And a foul on the scramble as Wallace controlled. He was fouled by Andre Riddick, and that's 4 on Riddick.
Kentucky has to be careful of the home run look now. Nobody back.
And McInnes takes it up the sideline with Epps in pursuit. Carolina leads by 6, and Stackhouse was fouled as he was eyeing a chance.
Did he sprint? He is unbelievable. 40 yards in 4.4. Explosive in the open floor. He would have brought the house down. He didn't count the house. McInnes keeps the dribble alive. Key brings the double with him. A little hesitation. The kick back, and Jerry, a tough guy on the hardwood.
Stackhouse 9 of 12 from the line. He'll shoot 2. Foul on Delp was his second, and that put Kentucky over the limit. North Carolina 66, Kentucky 58, 133 left in Birmingham.
This team can come back. They're a spurt team, down 9 to Arkansas late, came back.
Delp missed a 3. Rose collided with Calabria. Offensive foul called against Rose.
I'm not so sure about that one. Patino upset. I thought Rhodes had some of the torso by, but one of the things that Dante does is suck it up, and that shoulder initiated by Roderick, so you can't really argue. But that is the contributions of a guy who's played small forward, shooting guard, point guard, whatever you need. And this is what Dean's been all about. Loyalty, reaction. The last guy on the bench is a guy, he'll get him a job and worry about him more than the star.
Minute 10 remaining. North Carolina trying to protect an 8-point lead. Calabria was fouled, and he'll shoot a 1-and-1. It was after the charge against Rhodes that Rick Pitino took his jacket and threw it off. 1 timeout remaining for Kentucky. North Carolina's only been called for 4 fouls this half, and the arrow is also in the Tar Heels' favor.
A lot of people would want that call if you're a Kentucky fan, but you can be moving. And you initiate the contact, the offensive man, Roderick Rhodes. Actually, even though a bang-bang call, an easy one for those 2 officials.
I said the other night, it is difficult to delineate all of the little things that Calabria does so well for this North Carolina team. He made the first of the 1-and-1. Tonight on CBS, Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, The Office, The 5 Mrs. Buchanans, and Walker, Texas Ranger. And good luck to all of them as they try to follow this ad. North Carolina has called timeout. They lead by 10.
So I go into the showroom by myself, fully prepared to roll up my sleeves and haggle with the best of them, but the sales guy, laughs at me. Typical. No, he tells me about Oldsmobile's simplified pricing thing.
You get my best price up front.
But I want options, I say.
Included.
Included, he says.
He was kidding, right?
You tell me.
Simplified pricing, a new way to do business. From Oldsmobile, it's your money.
That'll be $8.95.
$8.50, not a penny more. Just had to say that.
This was our career bust. What, $100 million? Gone.
2 cops. Just do what you do, only faster. 2 partners.
Can you stay focused? What are you talking about? I'm focused.
Too close to the edge. You ain't with the bad guys now. You with the cops. Martin Lawrence, Will Smith.
You know, you drive almost slow enough to drive Miss Daisy.
Bad Boys. What You Gonna Do? Rated R. At theaters April 7th.
Excuse me. Mind if I ask you about your new Hewlett-Packard DeskJet 540 printer?
Could you hang on?
Sure. That's quite a smart choice, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Somebody's been working pretty hard tonight. Diligently working away as your faithful DeskJet 540 prints out page after great-looking page.
Uh-oh.
What happened?
I just sliced my tee shot into the lake.
Should have used the 5-iron. The affordable DeskJet 540 printer from Hewlett-Packard. Can I play?
Want to see next year's Final Four from a better seat? Get the March Madness meal deal with free wings, a free NCAA tournament guidebook, and a chance to win tickets to next year's Final Four. Who knows? These seats could be yours.
If you believe all motor oils are the same, why do you suppose one brand of motor oil is the #1 choice of America's top mechanics for use in their own cars and trucks? Which brand? Valvoline. People who know use Valvoline.
Chuck Norris on the trail of a kidnapper and a psychic help Walker before it's too late.
Now it's your turn.
Walker, Texas Ranger, tonight.
Dean Smith trying to get to the Final Four for the 10th time. He's a minute and 10 seconds away with a 10-point lead. He just used the timeout, leaving the Tar Heels with 2. Kentucky has 1. The Wildcats have the ball.
And you want to make them use some time if you're North Carolina on their offensive end. Kentucky needs a quick hitter and then a steal.
Delp.
A big 3. And they get it. Well, what's going to steal here?
Shepard has Williams in the corner. They don't foul Williams. And now they do as McCarty and Rhodes converge.
I think that was by design, too. So if they didn't get the initial trap, try and stop the clock.
4 fouls now on Walter McCarty. And the 10th team foul against Kentucky, so North Carolina will shoot 2 the rest of the way. And a fine day from the line for the Tar Heels at 20 out of 25. Williams, only a 62% free throw shooter this year, in sharp contrast to the last 2 years when he was the leading free throw shooter for North Carolina. Birmingham, Alabama, largest crowd ever to see a basketball game in this arena, better than 17,000. Most of them cheering for Kentucky. But it's the North Carolina fans making the noise at the moment. Their team has a 9-point lead with 45 seconds remaining. Shepard for 3. Pope the rebound.
He can make threes, but he couldn't get his feet set.
And they're taking time trying to get off a 3.
Well, you know defensively, it's tough to get him off.
Shepard missed a 3. Wallace has McGinnis ahead of the field.
Oh, smart, huh? Wallace! Well, how can they knock the Rock? Dean Smith, unbelievable preparation. Emphatic finish. Don't say the man can't coach. This may be his greatest job ever.
For the 10th time under Dean Smith. In only the second meeting with Kentucky ever in NCAA tournament play, North Carolina wins. As they did back in 1977 against the Wildcats in the East Regional Final, led by Walter Davis and Phil Ford. And head-to-head with Kentucky now, 6 straight wins for North Carolina. The players of the game, Jerry Stackhouse of North Carolina, double-double, 18 points, 11 rebounds, and for Kentucky, Tony Delp had 19 points. Final score, North Carolina 74, Kentucky 61. Back to chat with the winners in a moment.
When the chance came to work at Saturn, part of a new crew, I hoped what I'd heard was true. For every step of the way, the people who build the cars are responsible, and they can make a judgment. Maybe that's why October 12th is the day I'll never forget. That's the day I pulled the rope and stopped the Saturn line. It was just a broken retainer clip. It just took a minute to fix. You know, given the chance, anyone prefers to make a perfect product. At Saturn, by giving us that rope, they've given us that chance.
Win a $25,000 scholarship or a Via Athletic shoes in the 7-Up shootout game. Just perfect these basketball moves. The drive. The give and go. The quick look. A triple reverse 360. A slam dunk. But hurry, time's running out. You could win a $25,000 scholarship in the 7-Up shootout game. Free cash, pays for college.
Now that I'm responsible for 4 lives, I feel a lot more responsible for my own.
Travelers Insurance offers a range of life insurance options and annuities that meet your family's ever-changing needs.
We've worked hard all our lives. Now it's time to play.
Annuities from Travelers Insurance can give you more than 30 investment options for the retirement you want. You'll find what's best for you under America's umbrella.
This looks pretty good stuff right here. This wrinkles someone's tennis legs.
Douglas.
I am the solution to your problems.
And Andy Garcia track a killer to Japan.
There's a war going on here.
Black Rain Monday contains some violent scenes.
Dean Smith has now won 60 NCAA tournament games, more than any other coach. He's standing by with Bob Lobel. Bob?
All right, Sean McDonough, thank you very much. Dean Smith, Jerry Stackhouse, and Rasheed Wallace. You know, tradition has its time and place, but this was a street fight.
Well, it really was. It wasn't a well-played game by either team, but a gutty performance by our team and by theirs. They just didn't shoot well, and we acted like we hadn't worked on press offense, but we're just thrilled to be going to Seattle and still in the hunt for the national championship.
You came into this game, Dean, you talked about being the underdog, you talked about being undermanned, but you came up with a Herculean effort today.
Well, I think all of our players that played wanted it very much, and we played better, and Kentucky's played much better, but we're just so grateful for the win.
I'm going to come over here and talk to Rasheed for just a second and ask you about that incident in the first half. It seemed to fire up the basketball team. Maybe I can get your perspective on it.
Well, all it was a hard foul, and it was a whole lot of tension in between them, but it wasn't nothing personal because both of us wanted to win. Both of us wanted our teams to win, but we wanted it more.
Jerry, in the first half, you had a lot of things going against you. He was on the bench for 9.5 minutes, yet were able to build a 3-point lead. That seemed to be a big part of the ballgame.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We felt that they put a lot of pressure on us in the backcourt. We felt like once we got in our half court, we was able to run our offense, and I was just trying to take it to the basket and get fouled.
You know, this is all about emotion. It's all about moving on to Seattle, but you guys were pretty emotional at the end, especially you, Rasheed.
Well, I'm an emotional type of player, and I see myself as that emotional lift for the team.
Both of you sophomores, both of you moving on to Seattle. Congratulations. How sweet is this?
It's real sweet. I mean, we're just going to try to get there and win it all. But it feels real good right now.
Go celebrate.
Thanks.
Okay, Jerry. Thanks a lot, Rasheed. Good luck. All right, let's go back to Sean.
Thank you very much, Bob. Congratulations to Dean Smith and North Carolina. We'll join Pat O'Brien in the studio in a moment.
Looking good. Facing with your car is a great idea.
Yeah, especially when it's my new Grand Am.
Well, you couldn't take my car. It doesn't have analog brakes or an airbag.
Or 150 horsepower. Your car couldn't keep up with me.
Man, this engine is really smooth.
What?
I said you're really starting to move.
Hey, where are you?
Still going.
Long-lasting Energizer batteries keep going and going.
The American Business Day has no beginning, middle, or end. You're up by 6 a.m. to talk to London by noon. Late Tuesday in Vermont is early Wednesday in Sydney. No wonder UPS created Total Track. Up-to-the-minute delivery information 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You may never know where you'll be at any given moment.
Where am I? At an airport.
But you'll always be able to track your package. UPS, moving at the speed of business.
No trendy health club. No $60 shorts. No bull. Speed Stick. Its no-nonsense formula never quits. It works and works. Protects all day, no matter what. Speed Stick for 110% protection. Like you, it never quits.
By minute.
An American family with the power to love.
You did it, baby.
Meet some remarkable people.
If a man can't buy a decent pair of shoes for $60, something is wrong.
Under one roof, Tuesday.
North Carolina advances. They're going to the Final Four, beating Kentucky 74-61. But, folks, they are not cutting the nets down. They have chosen not to cut these nets down. The ones they are interested in are in Seattle, and this was moments ago as they put on their hats and walked off the court saying, we don't want those nets, but we've got our eyes set on a couple of others, and we'll see about that. North Carolina, our second team today to go to the Final Four. Tonight on CBS, following basketball, it's Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, followed by The Office, The Five Mrs. Buchanans, and Walker, Texas Ranger. Tomorrow, join us at 1:30 Eastern Time for the Van Naismith Award Show. At 2 o'clock Eastern, it's the Road to the Final Four show. And at 2:40 Eastern, we'll bring you the East Regional Final between Oklahoma State and UMass. And following that, we'll bring you the Midwest Regional Final, Virginia and Arkansas. Battles it out for that. And so Dean Smith is over the hill, and Jim Herrick can't coach. But, folks, they'll see all those critics in Seattle. We'll see you tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed our games today on CBS. March Madness. Can't get much better than this. Good night, everybody.
NCAA Basketball Championship.
It's every player's dream. The Final Four. Battle for Seattle.
Hello again. Welcome to the Road to the Final Four. Two teams are headed for Seattle, UCLA and North Carolina, and coming up will fill the other two slots. In a half an hour from now, we'll take you across the Hudson River to East Rutherford, where number 4 Oklahoma State plays number 2 UMass. At 5 o'clock Eastern Time, we're going to Kansas City. Number 4 Virginia and number 2 Arkansas will square off, and we'll find out if the defending national champions will have to survive yet another scare. How many lives do they have? Right now, we have 4 teams vying for the remaining pair of trips to Seattle, and Quinn Buckner will have the story of those 2 teams, Oklahoma State and UMass, who are getting set to wage the battle in East Rutherford. And joining us now is Special K up here on the set. And well, let's go out to the remote report. And Quinn, go ahead.
We're at the Meadowlands Arena in East Rutherford, just across the Hudson from downtown Manhattan. And before long, we'll have a crowd of 20,000 here to watch the first meeting ever between UMass, the Minutemen out of the Atlantic 10, and the Oklahoma State Cowboys. And in anticipation of this battle, both coaches, Eddie Sutton and John Calipari, talked about their strategy.
Big country is big country. I mean, he is huge, and he does a great job of posting and sealing and getting to the basket, and he's a good turnaround jump shot to the baseline and to the middle from the left side of the floor.
From our standpoint, I think the biggest key is defensive board play. They, when you look at the way they've dominated so many teams on the glass, and that's where their fast break starts, with their defense and on missed shots, making it hard to get easy shots.
See how Marcus matches up first before we try anything else. Obviously, you can't go into the game saying we're going to play straight man-to-man against them. So we have some other things, hopefully, that we'll be able to use in case he goes off, because he's capable of going for 40 and 25 rebounds. And if he does that, we're going home.
Quinn Buckner is here. I don't know if they're going to go home that quickly. They've got a very talented backcourt.
Well, they have a very talented front court, and you know that inside Brian Reeves is going to get his game going, but Marcus Camby is good defensively. What they've got to worry about, though, is what happens with Edgar Padilla. Edgar Padilla is not going to play today, and that's going to be a significant problem for them. What they really got to have from Edgar Padilla is what they miss is he's a guy that not only can shoot the ball, but they pressure. And when he pressures, he also is the guy they need to get down the jump shot. They miss that, so the rotation just does not work for them at this point. They've got to change some people in that lineup. That's going to hurt them.
Well, we are told Edgar Padilla came out and walked around the court about a half an hour ago. He is going to suit up for the game, but he will be available only in an emergency. Right now, let's go back across the river to Midtown Manhattan. Pat, Clark, and the gang in the studio.
All right, Vern, thank you. I'm glad you were both there, and we'll see you a little bit later this afternoon. Joining us now is Special K, Clark Kellogg, and the two final stops on our way to Seattle, and good matchups today.
Yeah, outstanding matchups. There are a number of things you want to take a look at in these games. I don't have enough time to get into all of them, but I think a couple of things you want to look at. Both of these games are going to hinge on tempo control and also rebounding. I think those are two key elements in both matchups.
All right, Clark, yesterday the unbeaten UConn women earned a Final Four berth by defeating Virginia, and last night the rest of the women's Final Four field set off on the road to Minneapolis. Let's begin out west with Purdue facing Stanford at Pauley Pavilion. The Cardinals' Anita Kaplan scores a bucket in the paint, leading Stanford with 18 points, much to the disappointment of Purdue coach Lynn Dunn. Stanford's Kate Pay seals the victory, and she gets a hoop on the run. And Coach Tara Vanderveer looks for her third NCAA championship in the 90s. Next week at the Final Four, they take on undefeated UConn. Over in the Mid-East Regional Final, Tennessee looked for its 8th trip to the Final Four in 14 years, and they got it. Nikki McRae hits for 19 of her 22 in the first half. Tennessee's Dana Johnson led all scorers with 24 points as Pat Summitt returns to a very familiar place, the Final Four. Georgia coach Andy Landers looking to get to the Final Four for the first time in a decade, but Colorado struck early. Isabel Fijalkowski scores 2 of her game-high 35. Buffalo's led by 11 when the Lady Bulldogs began their comeback. Sonny Roundtree with the tray. Georgia will meet Tennessee in Minneapolis. And you'll see the women's Final Four on CBS next Saturday at noon Eastern Time. The women's national semifinals. Our first game will be Georgia and Tennessee, and the second game, Stanford and Connecticut. The national championship game will come your way 1 week from today at 3:30. And still to come here on our Sunday program, we'll go over to the Coach's Corner for our freewheeling, no-holds-barred panel discussion, and we'll tell you all you need to know about this tournament in about 5 minutes as we roll on this final Sunday in March here on CBS. Stay with us.
The road to the Final Four is sponsored by the NASDAQ stock market, the stock market for the next 100 years. John Deere, makers of quality lawn and grounds care equipment. Nothing runs like a Deere. And by Pennzoil, the motor oil that works like liquid ball bearings.
They created their microprocessor in 1971, and the faster their chips have performed, the faster their company has grown. Today, the Intel design is the brains behind 2/3 of the world's PCs. By the 21st century, Intel expects their chip to execute 2 billion instructions in 1 second. Where do you find such fast-thinking companies? Actually, there's a list of them printed every day. NASDAQ, the stock market for the next 100 years.
Maybe it's because their frames are welded instead of bolted. Or because their decks are stamped from a single piece of steel. Or maybe it's the fact that they have the highest resale value in the industry.
Oh, hey, I always wanted one of these. Thanks.
But the truth is, when people are asked what kind of lawn tractor they'd like as a gift,
Happy birthday, Dad.
most say the same thing.
You got the winning color.
I change the oil every 3,000 miles or so. I've always used Pennzoil. It's a quality product.
Now with the revolutionary Penn-Star molecule, Pennzoil clings to moving parts. Works like liquid ball bearings.
It's showtime, baby! Play Pennzoil Sport to the Final Four. Win one of 4 trips for 2 to the Final Four in 95 or 96. Over 86,000 other prizes. Get details where you buy Pennzoil. It'll be awesome, baby!
The legendary Nürburgring. It sounds crazy, but they let anyone drive on this world-famous racetrack for just a few Deutschmarks. It was here that Porsche engineers tested our new 911 Turbo. Lap after lap of the new 400-horsepower engine, the twin turbos, the liquid all-wheel drive. What did we learn? Well, don't send a German engineer here with an ATM card.
This week, we've got Oscar fever with Alec Baldwin, Whoopi Goldberg, Marv Albert, Robin Williams, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Howard Stern, and Rocket Sam Cassell. This week.
Number 4, Oklahoma State, getting ready to challenge number 2, Massachusetts, in the East Regional Final. And there's Marcus Camby, who plays for UMass. You know, John Calipari's Minutemen have enjoyed some spectacular successes this season, but it has been a bumpy ride to the top, and a price was paid for the success. At an Italian restaurant in Amherst, Massachusetts, UMass coach John Calipari is holding court. It's his pregame meal, a ritual. He's animated and passionate, even when he eats.
I lose weight, they say I'm sick. People getting to him with stress. I feel great.
And why shouldn't he? In 7 short years, he's taken the school from worst to first. This year, the Minutemen opened by thumping defending champion Arkansas. It was a coming-out party for Lou Rowe.
He's a warrior in the true sense of the word. I mean, when people watch him, they say that. He has improved immensely. He has taken his game to another level. He has done it. And he gets other guys to do the same.
But the headlines followed a different story. Michael Williams missed the first 3 games due to academics. 2 other starters had substandard semesters in the classroom.
In our case, we've had 17 players come through our program. 14 are at jobs that they want to be in. Of the players I recruited, 75% have graduated. We've done our job. I'm proud of our kids academically.
A trip to France to take them away from the press and to McDonald's, of all places. But they did get a taste of haute cuisine.
Magnifique. C'est bon.
Not everybody agreed.
Coach made us try some escargot. Terrible.
Back in the U.S., Marcus Camby, a future NBA lottery pick, helped the Minutemen cling to their #1 ranking. But then a hamstring injury felled Camby, and without him, the team fell to George Washington. As they cheered, and the president looked on.
He was more down to earth than I thought. He was pretty cool. He knew his basketball, and it was something I was shocked about.
The most difficult part of the season came when Coach Cal had to remove senior Mike Williams from the team for disciplinary reasons. It was a painful moment for Calipari.
The pressure on the job is to get young men to do the things that they're capable of doing and do the things they know they should do. In most cases, I call it getting young men to do things they usually do not want to do, and then getting them to enjoy those things. Then I've done my job.
Innkeeper. I think people fantasize with travel. They envision going to exotic places. If you're going to be an innkeeper, you better make people comfortable and happy. Because we're a global company, we wanted a card that would give broad credit privileges throughout the world. And the American Express corporate card was the best for us to select.
The American Express corporate card is welcomed at lots of places that make you feel at home.
It is said he is to computer software what Thomas Edison is to the light bulb. The software Bill Gates developed runs 2/3 of the computers in the world. And on the day he turned 36, his company, Microsoft, was bigger than Xerox, Kodak, and McDonald's. Where in today's world do you find companies capable of such astonishing growth? Actually, there's a list of them printed every day. NASDAQ, the stock market for the next 100 years.
If you believe all motor oils are the same, why do you suppose one brand of motor oil is the #1 choice of America's top mechanics for use in their own cars and trucks? Which brand? Valvoline. People who know use Valvoline.
Our German engineers could have road tested the new Porsche 911 Carrera 4 back home in Germany. They could have taken the 270 horsepower engine out on the Autobahn again, or driven the Black Forest with the all-wheel drive and radical suspension. They could have done all that back home. But then, they wouldn't have gotten all this neat stuff.
This is the inspiration behind Goodyear's new 50,000-mile Wrangler AquaTread. 2 aqua channels sweep water away for outstanding wet traction. Welcome to the AquaTread family. New Wrangler AquaTread, only from Goodyear.
When Nick Faldo won 5 years ago, he became only the second man to win back-to-back green jackets. He now seems poised for a third, the Masters on CBS Sports.
Let's wheel it around. Who do you like and why?
I like UMass because despite the fact that Oklahoma State's an outstanding defensive team, I don't believe that they can hold UMass under 70 points.
Rick?
I like Oklahoma State because I like defense and shot selection. I like the half-court D. I think they will do it.
I don't like anybody because Calipari told me not to make any more picks. So I'm just going to say it's a game of tempo control and rebounding. Whoever can do what they do best wins this game.
All right, hope wherever you are, you're not wearing suits like we are. You dressed for this assignment. We like that. 4 guys sitting around watching basketball. Join us for a big day here. See you later.
The 54,000 men and women who built this airline now own this airline. Come fly our friendly skies.
This is CBS.
Here it is. Signed, sealed, delivered.
It's yours. The Mazda 25th anniversary celebration is one quick chance to get a great lease on a Mazda 626. It's got front-wheel drive, dual airbags, and the best basic warranty in its class. All this, plus air conditioning for just $199 a month. Hurry in.
Signed, sealed, delivered. It's yours.
Lease a Mazda 626DX for just $199 a month now.
We have new challenges. We have less time, less money to do a better job. We have to be competitive. We have to get more done with the people we have. But we're going to get the tools. Tools that will help us communicate better. Tools that will help us all work better together. Don't be afraid. It's not about getting the most out of you. It's about getting the best out of you.
The simple notion of playing the game with grace and joy has returned. Say hello to Grand Hill. The Hill by Fila.
So, what's new on the 95 Explorer? Well, for starters...
Did he say what's new? Try dual airbags, 4-wheel disc anti-lock brakes, an all-new suspension, rack and pinion steering, new exterior styling, and a lot more.
He forgot one thing.
Now get a great deal on a new Explorer, the only leading sport utility vehicle with dual airbags. Hurry in today and choose from our big selection.
In other words, the Ford Explorer is an even greater value for $95.
Any questions?
See your Ford dealer.
Today's game sponsored locally by your tri-state quality Ford dealers.
The East bracket is almost done. After today, there will be only one. Oklahoma State, a repeat national champion in the 40s, is trying to recapture the glory of yesteryear. UMass has no Final Four history, only an all-or-nothing, refuse-to-lose attitude. Brendan Byrne Meadowlands Arena, East Rutherford, New Jersey, about a 20-minute drive on a good day from Midtown Manhattan. That's assuming the tunnel is not clogged. And we're here for the East Regional Final. The Oklahoma State Cowboys with 26 victories this season against the UMass Minutemen, who are in quest of their 30th of the year. And the winner of this game will join UCLA and North Carolina in the Final Four. The winner of this game takes on UCLA next Saturday in Seattle. And good afternoon, everybody. Vern Lundquist along with Quinn Buckner. Glad to have you with us. First of all, a little medical information. Edgar Padilla, the starting guard for UMass, is not going to be able to play. He strained an arch in the game here the other night. Tried to run this morning. We are told, Quinn Buckner, he will be available, but only in an emergency. Now, how does that impact on the team?
You know, what it does for UMass, it's a team that likes the pressure, and when you want to pressure the way they do, you need a lot of substitutions. It shortens that substitution pattern. One, he's also one of their best outside shooters. Now you have to be concerned about getting the ball inside to Marcus Camby and Lou Rowe without having Padilla on the floor. But most importantly, it's the pressure that's going to be effective.
Well, the mention of Camby and Rowe brings smiles to everybody who cares about the UMass program. Really a talented front court duo.
Well, they really are. I mean, they do a lot of things for you. Marcus Camby is a guy you like because he can help block shots. But the heart and soul of this team is Lou Rowe. He's a big, strong young man, gets down on the block, does the dirty work. John Calipari cannot say enough good things about this guy, but he's going to have to bring it tonight because he's going to have to guard Big Country.
Well, Oklahoma State comes in, as we said, with 26 victories. What is the key for them today?
Well, I think the key is tempo. I think you've got to be able to get into a half-court game, and their defense will work on the other side. They're one of the top defensive teams in the country, but what you got to do is, in terms of the tempo, get it half-court, because if you can get it to half-court, you've got Brian Reeves in there. He is not only 7 feet tall, but he's a wide body, and he can turn back the defense off you and still make the shot. So they've got to make sure that they can do that. But in order to get there, they've got to be able to shoot it from the perimeter. They shot it pretty well against Wake Forest, but the guy that's going to have to shoot it the best, their best shooter, is Randy Rutherford. He's had 45 points against Kansas. He had 23 the other night against Wake Forest. He's got to come out knocking down the jump shot.
UMass has never been to the Final Four. Oklahoma State was last there 44 years ago. Back with the starting lineups right after this.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of this NCAA Basketball Championship Regional Final game is sponsored by American Honda, RCA, changing entertainment again, and by the U.S. Army. Learn how to get an edge on life. Be all you can be.
Here in Ohio, we tested the new Honda Accord V6 and discovered that the car more people buy than any other is now better and quicker than ever before. Now, why would you want a car that lets you get away so fast?
You're late.
You got your reasons. The new Accord V6, from Honda.
The RCA Home Theater. With big picture and powerful sound. It's where the future of television is taking you.
Now you can register to win $1 million in the RCA $1 Million Madness Sweepstakes. And you can get up to a $100 mail-in rebate when you buy select RCA home theater TVs. So now's the time to head down to your RCA theater. What are you still sitting there for?
This isn't Hollywood. This is the Army. A place that prepares you to think, to act, to be a part of the real world. A world where change is rapid, where technology keeps expanding. By the year 2000, there'll be as many computers as people. So get ready for tomorrow in the high-tech army of today. Because we've already begun the 21st century in America's Army.
You got the winning color.
I change the oil every 3,000 miles or so. I've always used Pennzoil. It's a quality product.
Now with the revolutionary Penn-Star molecule, Pennzoil clings to moving parts. Works like liquid ball bearings.
It's showtime, baby! Play Pennzoil Sport to the Final Four. Win one of 4 trips for 2 to the Final Four in 95 or 96. Over 86,000 other prizes. Get details where you buy Pennzoil. It'll be awesome, baby!
They are Christians, but they object to praying in school. Isn't that against the law, praying in school? Apparently not in Pontotoc County, Mississippi. 60 Minutes, tonight.
Back at the Meadowlands Arena, Oklahoma State and UMass. And time now to meet the starting lineups for both schools. Let's go to our public address announcer, Bill Bromberg.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Byrne Meadowlands Arena in East Rutherford, New Jersey, for today's Eastern Regional Championship game between the Oklahoma State University Cowboys and the University of Massachusetts Minutemen. Let's meet the starting lineups. At forward for Oklahoma State, a 6'9" senior from Euless, Texas, number 20, Scott Pierce. At forward for Massachusetts, a 6'6" junior from the Bronx, New York, number 3, Dana Dinkle. At forward for Oklahoma State, a 6'6" senior from Joliet, Illinois, number 32, Terry Collins. At forward for Massachusetts, a 6'7" senior from Atlantic City, New Jersey, number 15, Lou Rowe. At center for Oklahoma State, a 7-foot senior from Gans, Oklahoma, number 50, Bryant Reeves. At center for Massachusetts, a 6'11" sophomore from Hartford, Connecticut, number 21, Marcus Camby. At guard for Oklahoma State, a 6'3" senior from Broken Bow, Oklahoma, number 15, Randy Rutherford. At guard for Massachusetts, a 6'2" senior from Springfield, Massachusetts, number 14, Derek Kellogg.
Baby, Springfield, baby! Woo!
At guard for Oklahoma State, a 5'11" junior from South Bend, Indiana, number 35, Andre Owens. And at guard for Massachusetts, a 6'2" sophomore from Boston, Massachusetts, number 24, Carmelo Travieso.
Who is good as shit?
And introducing the head coaches, for Oklahoma State, Eddie Sutton, and for Massachusetts, John Calipari.
And now, before we tip it off here in East Rutherford, let's check in with Andrea Joyce.
Vern, at this time of year, most teams are wearing down physically, but UMass in particular really got banged up and re-aggravated some old injuries on Friday night. Here's a list of the wounded. Derek Kellogg has a strained tendon in his left foot. Marcus Camby, tendonitis around the knees. Lou Rose, strained hamstring. Padilla's injury, however, is much more severe. Trainer Ron Laham told us that they made a special insert for his shoe to try and relieve some of the pressure on his arch. He tested it out during warm-ups, though, and he didn't look good at all. Padilla just told told us a couple of minutes ago he's in plenty of pain. So as you said, Vern, it would only be in an emergency situation if he were to get in. Back to you guys.
Okay, Andrea, Oklahoma State is not deep. They do have one injury. It's Terry Collins, the guard who has a torn tendon on his index finger of his shooting hand. It did bother him the other night. Here's how Oklahoma State advanced over Drexel, Alabama, and then they knocked off the #1 seed Wake Forest the other night. They got big help off the bench from Keontae Roberts. And UMass came in as the #2 seed. And look at the margin of victory for the Minutemen in each of the 3 games. 17 in the first, 22 in the second, and then they rolled over Tulsa in their victory here Friday night. The officials for today's game. The referee is Andre Patillo, and it is Patillo, Don Rutledge, and Steve Welmer. First meeting ever between these two teams. UMass 29-4, and Oklahoma State 26-9.
The most important thing you can try to do in any basketball game is make the team, the opposition play your game. It's critical for Oklahoma State to be able to slow the game down.
Derek Kellogg for UMass.
Oklahoma State out in traditional man-to-man.
Kellogg comes right side to Dana Dingle. Low post, Marcus Camby goes at Reeves, tips it off. Basket is good. Dana Dingle.
Well, you can see what Marcus Camby can do. He not only can go to the basket with his quickness, but he makes a nice pass inside. So now you got to be worried about his passing ability.
Full court pressure applied. Now they drop back. Applied the pressure on the inbound pass. Andre Owens at the point, number 35. Underneath it goes to Big Country Reeves. Foul.
Having a shooter out there makes all the difference in the world. Marcus Camby was down on the block trying to guard Big Country. And the problem he's going to have is as I said, Bryant Reeves is wide. So it's hard for you to get over him to get to the shot. So he just needs to go straight up and not go after every shot. Talk to the coaching staff. They were concerned that Marcus Camby would start going after every shot.
Reeves at the free throw line. He has been extraordinary at the line in the NCAA tournament. He's now made 25 of 28, and for the season, only a 70% shooter.
Yeah, he's stepped up to the plate big. And this young man has had an outstanding college career.
Happened again.
Well, we jinxed him.
Does all the time. 2-1. Back to Dingle. Camby out to set a screen high. Almost picked off by Owens. He had 6 steals the other night. Left side Dingle. Oh, good reversal of position in the air, and Dingle is fouled.
You know, here's what you've got to watch for defensively with Oklahoma State. If they are playing defense and taking charges, they are in good shape. And the difference is, if they're not taking charges, that means the dribble penetration is beating them, and that quickness allows them to get to the basket, and that's what's going to hurt Oklahoma State if they allow UMass dribble penetration.
Neither of these teams known for their free throw shooting proficiency. As a team, UMass is 66%, but Dingle, the least effective of them all, he's 55% for the season, but he got the first. And the second.
He's got it started. The count has already started.
Count starts. Terry Collins inbounds to Scott Pierce. Lou Rowe back on him.
So they'll come and blind trap you.
There's the trap. Lou Rowe. Kellogg, Rowe.
Can't turn it over, obviously, but it's one thing to turn it over with a travel, if you will, but it's a whole different thing if you turn it over on a steal because they can convert it.
This is Rutherford, guarded by Carmelo Travieso. There's the tip to Dingle. Another turnover. Oklahoma State turned it over only 6 times in their win the other night against Wake Forest.
And this is the tempo Massachusetts wants. They want to speed up your offense.
Matter of fact, the last 2 games, they've turned it over 6 in each. Twice already. Off the glass, no good. Rebound, Scott Pierce of Oklahoma State. Now Andre Owens in his first year. Junior college transfer, the entry pass to Brian Reeves. Off the mark, rebound, Travieso. Derek Kellogg.
See how they're back, how fast they're back on the offensive end. Travieso knocks down the 3, but they get you before you can really set up.
Carmelo Travieso, who is starting in place of the injured Edgar Padilla. Offensive foul. Eddie Sutton's going to his bench.
Well, you know that Canby can block shots. There he goes down pretty hard, and there's no question about the charge, but Terry Collins was out of control.
Dante Bright checks in and replaces Marcus Canby. And for Oklahoma State, it's Keontae Roberts, number 23, who had a big game off the bench the other night. 13 points and 6 rebounds.
And he's an athlete. He's very versatile. And they got him on the floor because Terry Collins is really out of sync.
9-1. We played 2.5. Kellogg and Travieso. Here's Dante Bright. Intercepted by Andre Owens. Tips it left side. Rutherford for the three. No good.
Vern, he had a layup. I mean, I understand kicking the ball out. And Keontae Roberts is telling him, take the layup. There's no need to throw it out for a three under those circumstances.
Take a look at it. Up, inbounds. Here's Rutherford. Knocked out by Dante Bright.
The real strength of UMass is not only the kind of pressure they put on you, they are very, very intense with that pressure. They keep it on you on both ends of the floor.
Both of these teams defensively oriented, and they excel in that aspect of the game. Here's Scott Pierce. He was 0 for 7 on Friday night. Now Pierce picks off, and it goes off Travieso. UMass almost had their third steal.
Yeah, well, with Pierce is really, I don't think he understands the kind of players he's playing against. These guys have got great savvy, so if you beat them, they're generally going to come from behind, either on a press or even a half-court set. It's got to protect the basketball.
Eddie Sutton said he wanted a game in the 60s. He can't be pleased with what's going on, even in terms of tempo right now.
No, the tempo definitely favors UMass. This is the way they want it to go.
Well, Scott Pierce 0 for 7 in Friday night's game. Cans his first basket today. Young man who started as a sophomore at Illinois and then transferred to Oklahoma State. Andre Owens goes for the steal off his foot. UMass running down. Well, we talked about defense. Look at UMass throughout the tournament, Glenn.
Well, what they do is they not only get after you full court, but in the half-court game, they come out. You rarely get an uncontested shot. That's what leads to that kind of opposition in terms of field goal percentages.
Tyrone Weeks has come on the floor now. Weeks and Rowe. Here's Kellogg. Lou Rowe, the trap comes from the double team from Roberts.
See, they're more worried about Lou Rowe than they were about Marcus Canby. As you see Dana Dingle doing a jump shot. But they came to double team Rowe. They did not double team Canby.
Canby on the bench after he took the charge from Collins. It's an 11-3 game, 15:53 remaining. Back to Pierce.
Now this is the tempo they want.
On the baseline, Andre Owens.
That's a roll on the ground. There's no doubt about it. He reached in, and I don't know why he's doing that, because that is Andre Owens. There's no chance he's going to get that one over him very successfully.
Basket did not count. The foul did.
Excuse me, sir. What are you doing?
Printing a picture.
Wow, is that a new Hewlett-Packard DeskJet 540 printer?
It's a 9-inch high-end armor with a shield. I see.
Yeah, wise choice, this HP DeskJet, huh? How about that printer? Isn't it durable?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I guess so. So I bet your parents get a lot of use out of it, though, huh?
Yeah, I guess.
You guess?
They don't wear the stuff they print.
Isn't that just like parents?
Yep, boring.
You said it.
Let's see. 2.9% financing on all Accords. Have we forgotten anything? Oh, I guess you better hurry then. Go see your Honda dealer.
This week, get your absolute best deal on tires from America's #1 tire store, Sears. All tires are on sale, including top-name brands like Goodyear, Michelin, and Bridgestone. All tires, all sizes, from 5 to 20% off at Sears.
Genuine jockey.
Real quality. Real fit. No wonder guys feel comfortable with Jockey.
Genuine jockey.
Funny thing about March Madness, as more teams drop out, more friends drop in. Fewer teams, more friends. Good thing Pizza Hut has the March Madness meal deal. Buy any large, regular price pizza, and we'll throw in a dozen free buffalo wings plus a free NCAA tournament guidebook. Because by the time only 2 teams are left, you're going to have a lot of friends. The March Madness meal deal.
And now a brief message from the man you've made number